Welcome to Politics News Wolf US channel. There are very important developments in the war between UK, Ukraine, and Russia. The Ukrainian army won a very serious success in the war by carrying out operations one after the Russian leader of Putin then took a decision that surprised everyone. This decision caused many discuss. These are the most critical days of the war. Let's start if you are ready. The Ukrainian army has significantly stepped up its operations against Russia. In recent days, Russia was forced to retreat from many towers it occupied. Russia was left defenseless in the face of these operations of the Ukrainian. Because Wasa did not expect a conflict at this time. The Russian army thought that this war would stop in the winter. Eastern Ukraine has very harsh winter conditions. These cities have transportation and communication problems due to heavy snowfall. In winter, the Russian government planned there would be no conflict in these regions during the winter season. At this time, the Russian army wanted to reverse its defeat in the war by conducting military. But nothing turned out the way Putin wanted. Europe is experiencing the warmest victory in history. Climate scientist Maximiliano Herrera announced that 8 countries, including Holland, Denmark, and Czech Republic, experienced the warmest January on record measurements. Germany also broke regional temperature re. Herrera described this as the most extreme heat event in European history. In addition, Alex Burkill, a meteor at the UK meteorological director, had said there has been unprecedented extreme heat over a wide area. Ukraine is also experiencing one of the warmest winters in history. That's why there is no break in the war, and the Ukrainian army continues its operations. Russia is suffering capital losses in these operations. More than 110,000 soldiers have died in the Russian army. The Russian army is helpless. Thanks to Ukraine's counter-operations. Russia needs time. But Putin is afraid to declare a ceasefire or stop the war because that would mean that Putin would have to admit his defeat in the war. Protests against Putin are growing every day in Russia. The Kremlin leadership constantly denies failure in this. Russia media outlets controlled by Putin are constantly manipulating the war. The Russian people are constantly being propagandized. If Putin stops the war, everyone will realize that Russia has been defeated. Desperate Putin has a very important opportunity. Patriarch killed Archbishop of the Russian Orthodox Church has called on both Russian and Ukrainian forces to stop fighting before and during Christmas. The Orthodox celebrates Christmas every year on January 6 and 7. Patriarch Kirill said that a Christmas ceasefire should be declared from 12 a.m. on January 6 until 12 p.m. on January 7. Kirill's call was supported by the Russian people. Opponents of the war in Russia said it was immoral to continue the war even on holiday. This pressure has been a great opportunity for Putin. Russia, which has been occupying Ukraine since February 24, announced a ceasefire between January 6 and 7. Putin plans to replenish the army with new ammunition. Russian soldiers who have been on the battlefield every day for nearly a year are also planning to rest during these ceasefire. Russian soldiers were very tired because of this. Due to heavy losses in the Russian army, Russian soldiers were constantly on the battlefield. This situation caused the soldiers to get very tired and to rebel against their commanders due to the intense duty hours. Putin wants to ensure that Russian soldiers also rest during the ceasefire. Putin also using the ceasefire to improve his reputation all over the world. Putin, who makes extremely threatening statements and threatens the security of the whole, is suffering a great loss of reputation due to the war in Ukraine by stopping the war on Christmas days. Putin wants to be seen as a peaceful politician all over the world, but no one believes Putin anymore. Zelensky made an important statement after Putin's ceasefire decision. Ukrainian President Zelensky met in Kyiv U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Jack Reed, and a member of that committee Senator Angus King. During the meeting, Zelensky said that he sees Russia's 36-hour ceasefire offer as a manipulation in which the aggressor is trying to hide its real military plans and intention. Zelensky's statement attracted worldwide attention. Everyone knows that Putin's ceasefire decision has no peaceful purpose. War expert emphasized that the ceasefire was a necessity for Putin. Putin was planning to increase his reputation by declaring a ceasefire, but after the ceasefire, Putin's reputation has fallen. Even more experts have another interesting claim. Putin may extend the ceasefire or announce new ceasefire decision. By declaring ceasefire on Christmas days, Putin may be trying to get the Russian people and the whole world used to it. Having suffered a major defeat in Ukraine, Putin may be forced to withdraw from the territory he occupied by declaring ceasefire. This is the first time that Putin, who has always practiced aggressive policy, has declared a ceasefire. This could be one of the breaking points of the war. Putin may decide on new ceasefires for a longer period. On the other hand, the Ukrainian army is preparing for all eventualities. Ukraine has recently received new support from Germany and the United States. The German government has agreed to send armor military vehicles to Ukraine. These vehicles are expected to arrive in Ukraine in a very short. The Ukrainian army is growing stronger every day. The Russian army is melting fast. The United States of America has also made a statement about the aid it'll send to Ukraine. White House Representative Karen LaPierre said that the United States has allocated more than $3 billion in military aids to Ukraine. Thanks to this aid, the strength of the Ukrainian army is greatly increasing. The modern weapons in the hands of the Ukrainian army are reducing all the power of the Russian army. The Ukrainian army has been conducting very strategic operations since the beginning of the war. Dozens of ammunition depots of the Russian army have been. As a result, the Russian army suffered a very serious military loss. According to the data shared by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, the Russian army has lost 3,066 tanks, 6,125 armor-marked vehicles, 2062 artillery systems, 1,008 on 1044 drums since the beginning of. Due to these losses, the Russian army is experiencing an ammunition crisis. An interesting solution was found in the Russian army, whose stock of weapons and armor also decreased. The Russian government opened the weapon depots left over from the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. The weapons found in these warehouses and produced in the 1970s were distributed to Russian soldiers. The effectiveness of these weapons is very. Russian soldiers cannot conduct successful operations using these weapons. The Russian army is having a very hard time. What do you think about the success of the Ukrainian army in this war? Do you think Putin will extend the ceasefire? Do you think Putin will retreat in this war? What is your opinion about the losses suffered by Russia? Share your views with us. The Anka News team works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to prepare these news reports. We are a very crowded team of reporters, copywriters, expert, consultants, voiceovers, video editors, and behind the scenes you can support us so that independent journals can continue. You can try using the super thank you bottle below the video. Thank you for following and supporting us. Thank you for watching the video. If you find it useful, please comment and share the video for us. It will make our channel more known. See you in the following videos. Thank you very much.